On February the 22nd, 2013 at 11 a.m., a 5-mile stretch on Interstate 15 in San Diego, California will be unveiled as Tuskegee Airmen Highway. The efforts to acknowledge these distinguished men was due to the efforts of California State Senator Joel Anderson, 36th District, U.S. Air Force retired Oscar Till, and Jeffrey Woodson, both members of Benjamin O. Davis Jr., Tuskegee Airmen, San Diego Chapter.
I'm State Senator Joel Anderson, and it's such a privilege to be part of this important celebration honoring one of World War II's most elite combat units, the Tuskegee Airmen. The dedication we celebrate today will help preserve the achievements and sacrifices these men made for our country. I'm also thrilled that we're able to celebrate this dedication during Black History Month. The Tuskegee Airmen not only helped defeat fascism overseas, but just as importantly, they also broke down the barriers of racism and segregation here in America, which led to the complete racial integration of our military. Thank you, gentlemen, for your truly extraordinary service to our country.
The term Tuskegee Airmen refers to all who were involved in the Army Air Corps program in Tuskegee, Alabama, to train African Americans to fly and maintain combat aircraft. During World War II, a total of 992 African Americans were trained as fighter pilots and bomber pilots at Tuskegee Airfield, Tuskegee, Alabama, from 1941 to 1946. In spite of segregation and prejudice, the Tuskegee Airmen's 332nd Fighter Group, stationed at Africa and Italy and fighting in the skies over Germany, became one of the most respected fighter groups in World War II. In total, they shot down 251 enemy aircraft, sank 1 German destroyer, and destroyed thousands of misconceptions. The Tuskegee Airmen flew more than 15,000 sorties in World War II. They escorted over 200 bomber missions over Germany and Romania.
Hi, I'm Leon Williams, and as you may or may not know, during World War II, black men were in segregated units. I know because I was in a segregated unit in Australia and New Guinea, and I know how that felt. When the Tuskegee Airmen did what they did, as well as they did, I believe it became evident that the nation's total capability was being diminished by denying black men full participation. I believe that might quite well have been President Truman's motivation for desegregating the military. So I want to thank you, Tuskegee Airmen, for what you did to improve American democracy. And I want to thank Senator Joel Anderson for recognizing that and for naming this highway in your honor. Thank you again.
They suffered many hardships, but proved themselves to be world-class pilots who were not just fighting for their country, but fighting for their dreams and willing to give their lives for it. These achievements helped pave the way for full integration of the United States Armed Forces. On freedom's wings, bound for glory, these intrepid men roamed the skies in defense of liberty for all men. Before the Air Force shattered the sound barrier, the Tuskegee Airmen shattered the race barrier. Their deeds will be forever etched in the annals of those who sought freedom and justice. The Tuskegee Airmen helped win a war and helped change the nation for the better. Their story is of the human spirit and ends like all great stories do, with wisdom and lessons and hope for tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Lori Berman. I'm the Caltrans District Director for San Diego and Imperial Counties, and I'm so pleased to be part of today's event to honor the dedication, the service, and the sacrifice the Tuskegee Airmen made on behalf of our country. And on behalf of the California Department of Transportation, we are honored to know that every day as folks travel the I-15, they will see the dedication signs and remember the unique place these men hold in American history. Thank you.
Today, February 22nd, 2013, marks a momentous occasion in San Diego for these distinguished airmen. Senate Concurrent Resolution 90 recognizes the outstanding achievements of the Tuskegee Airmen in World War II and commends the work that they are doing in our community to introduce young people across the nation to the world of aviation. Thanks to Senator Anderson, this legislation was passed to name the freeway after the Tuskegee Airmen.
It's such a privilege to be here on this important celebration, honoring one of World War II's most elite combat units. The dedication we celebrate today will preserve their achievements and sacrifices. The Tuskegee Airmen not only helped defeat fascism overseas, but just as importantly, they also broke down the barriers of racism and segregation here in America, which led to the complete racial integration of the military. The signs will serve as an everyday reminder of what these brave men did for our country. And I think that is going to be your legacy, more than what you did in battle, but focusing on our younger generation so they understand how far our country has come and how far our country needs to go. And I just want to say, God bless you for what you've done for our country. Thank you for serving. In one case, serving both Canada and the United States. But thank you for what you've done for our country, because it's hard to imagine what you went through, and I'm just grateful that you did. Thank you.
I tell you, I get up every day as a Marine, and I think, what am I going to do for our country today? What can I make better? And I hope I get that done today. And I'm looking at a group of men that made that choice, did things I couldn't imagine doing myself. And it is an honor to stand here in front of you to talk to you. And it is an honor to have you here at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. And I can't thank the Senator enough for asking us to host this event. What a tremendous opportunity for us. And you don't think about the race, religion, even gender of the Marine next to you. It's not that way, and it hasn't been that way for generation after generation after generation because of the work that you all did. And what you get out of that is a country where the best of everybody pulls hard at the same time, and we can do things that we could never have done before if you hadn't have been who you all were when you were. So thank you so much for that. I got to tell you, it chokes me up inside to stand here and look at you and know that I will never in my life, as hard as I try, achieve the level that you all have and what you've done for this nation. So thank you.
Peggy, thank you very much. I'm Ignacio de la Torre with AT&T, and it's an honor to be here with you. We live in Chula Vista, and where we live, there's a flight pattern that the military takes that flies out from the east to the west, and whenever we see the fighter jets, I pull out our two daughters and I take them outside. And they've gotten rather tired of this because I do it every single time we see it, and it happens often. And I pull them out and I remind them that the sound they hear is a sound of freedom. And that's the type of freedom that you gentlemen have bestowed upon us. At AT&T, we're proud of our support of this event. We thank you for your commitment to our country, for what you've been able to do, and the hallmark that you've set for us here in San Diego and across the nation. It's our pleasure to be a part of this. Thank you for including us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Nelson Robinson, one of our distinguished and elite Tuskegee Airmen.
Thank you very much. We have many of our comrades here on the front row. Our pilot here, this pilot here, served for Canada, and he trained as a pilot in Canada before he trained at Tuskegee. So he wears the badges of two forces. We have a fellow crew chief in the 99th Fighter Squadron with myself. I was the crew chief, Buford Johnson, over here in the center.
And now for the moment that we've all been waiting for.
3, 2, 1.
Contact, joystick back, flying to the blue. Gallant men of the 99, Brown and Trident crew, for we are soldiers of the night. To hell with the Axis might. Fight, fight, fight.
In 1925, the government had a survey that said blacks were not physically, mentally able to fly aircraft. I don't know who said that, but whomever said it, I think wasn't thinking too well. Because, as I told you guys before, we weren't good and we weren't better. We were the best that this country can produce.
That we work to get the same training instead of similar training. We work to get the same opportunity instead of the equal opportunity, so that we are working on one set of things, one set of opportunities.
Eleanor Roosevelt went to Tuskegee, and Chief Anderson was chief instructor with the civilian pilot training program. And Eleanor told Chief Anderson, she says, I understand that blacks cannot fly, but as I look in the sky, I see blacks flying these trainers in the sky. And I want to take a ride with you. And Chief Anderson said, I'd be honored. And so as they went to the aircraft, got in the civil service, and her security people called the president, Roosevelt, and said, hey, your wife is about to go up with this black dude. and he said, well, leave her alone. Eleanor does what she wants to do. And so Eleanor went up with Chief Anderson, and when they landed, Eleanor Roosevelt proclaimed, blacks can fly.
Thank you, Tuskegee Airmen, for achieving unique success and losing so few bombers to enemy fighters that bomber units requested you to be their fighter escorts.
You were the first African-American military aviators in the country's history to persuade leaders to eventually desegregate the armed forces. Thank you for what you have done and being the best this country could produce.
Thank you, Tuskegee Airmen, for the patriotism, courage, discipline, skill, and determination, which contributes to the freedom we all have today.
As 2013 President of the Tuskegee Airmen Benjamin O. Davis Jr. San Diego chapter, I'm honored to be in your presence. San Diego has been given the opportunity to meet you, shake your hands, hear you talk, and tell your wonderful stories. The Tuskegee Airmen Highway signs mark a momentous occasion in San Diego on your behalf. You will never be forgotten, and this is our way of saying thank you.